Hello, Internet, and welcome to episode 200 of Verbal Graffiti with your host, Brian Glass, a.k.a. the B-Man, the People's Degenerate. Can you believe that? All of you cheese doodles and perverts, the B-Man? And this project, Verbal Graffiti, has made it to episode 200. What a milestone! A tip of my penis to myself for this effort that I put into this. If we put out an episode, and when I say we, I mean me. I do all the work here, but I say we to be modest. If nothing else, I'm not modest, but we do release episodes every Monday and Thursday, and I am yet to miss an episode. Now, I may have not put one out in time because I'm just not very well versed with technology, but to date, which is nearly 2 years ago we started this project, there have been 2 episodes per week released in addition to 5 to 6 reels per week as well to try to hype up this project, to get more eyes, viewership, listeners to this project. So if nothing else, the B-Man, I'm persistent, I'm consistent. Some of you may say I'm a nuisance. You might call me a cockroach. I cannot disagree. And one thing any of us will call us here at Verbal Graffiti is successful. Let's look into the numbers, which is customary here at Verbal Graffiti. Hey, B-Man, how many times are you going to say the word Verbal Graffiti, the name of this project, in the opening of episode 200? Well, remember when you were in grade school, high school, middle school, and a student would raise their hand to answer a question, usually an annoying babe or an annoying Chad, and just a dum-dum, a lollipop, a yo-yo. And when they're giving the answer, your classmate, they start saying the word like like every other word is a like, and you start picking up on how often that student is saying the word like. So you start counting how many likes they say during their answer, and usually it's 10 plus in less than a minute. That's kind of what I'm doing with Verbal Graffiti here. But yeah, as customary here at Verbal Graffiti, every 50 episodes, I like to give you some numbers, some insight to how we're doing, the metrics, the money, the viewership, the subscribers. We're failing at all 3. I believe at episode 150, we had, on YouTube that is, we had maybe 45, maybe 47 subscribers. As of today, the recording of episode 200, we have 60 subscribers. So progress has been stagnant, minimal. We're barely crawling up. 60 subscribers for 200 episodes and over 500 reels. I'm adding a subscriber, or gaining a subscriber, that is, every few weeks, which is not a way to make a living, not a way to gain success, notoriety, happiness. This project, if there's one thing consistent other than me releasing 2 episodes per week, is we are a failure. Well, the numbers don't lie. If we were on a network, like I said in episode 150, if Verbal Graffiti was on a network or a radio station, we'd be canceled long ago. My unemployment would have expired, and I'd be on the street. But unfortunately for me, I made 0 money on this project to date. So I can't even apply for unemployment if I were to get canceled or just taken off the air. You can't be canceled if nobody knows who the F you are, and nobody knows who I am. And I'm not somebody who's seeking out fame, which is odd, because I blast my face on all social medias and YouTubes and podcasts as often as I can. But fame is honestly not something I'm seeking out. Honestly, that's why I love being in New York City. When I live there, and anytime I visit there, it's the anonymity that city provides. that gives me the giddiness. It's being able to walk down a block and having nobody recognize me. That's what I love doing. Just being a soul of a gint, wandering around the city, wandering around life. That's who I want to be. But there is also I want my work or whatever the F this is that I'm doing. I would like people to see the work I'm doing, but I don't want them to see me. Now, I understand you have to see one, you have to see the other, but there is a point when you're doing art, whatever art. This isn't art, but when you're creating something, as I am, and I've been doing this project for 200 episodes. I had a project, a written blog that I did for almost 3 years called After Time Expires, which is very similar to this project, just it was a written form, not video. And hardly got any, in 3 years, I think I had 100,000 views total, which is pitiful, which is barely anything. It's not good. And then I've been doing stand-up for almost 12 years now. Again, the biggest audience I've ever performed in front of, I think it might be 300-ish. Usually, last night I did stand-up. I performed. There were 2 audience members, a real audience, not employees, bartenders, other comics there. Like 2 real audience members there. So the 12 plus years of being a comic, a creator, a stand-up comedian, a YouTuber, I'm yet to get any eyeballs on me, any recognition, like any real viewership. And that is the frustrating part of this, is I'm putting everything I have into it, which you can mock. But hey, it's all I have. It's all that's in my jetpack. I'm blowing up and trying to put out there, and nobody is seeing it. Again, it's not the fame that I'm seeking or the notoriety. It's just, hey, when you put so much effort into something you're passionate about, and I am passionate about verbal graffiti and stand-up comedy, it would just be nice if more than 5 to 10 people watched my episodes. No, I'm not complaining. I'm just being honest with you. I think you can understand what I want. Yeah, hey, you can put out a video. You'll want people to watch it. No, I'm not going to cry about nobody watching it. The B-man ain't no crier. My dad taught me that. You're a man. Men don't cry. Walk it off. You get a little scratch on your knee, you fall off your bike, walk it off. So that's what we're going to do here at Verbal Graffiti. We're going to walk it off and keep going. I honestly believe that the content we're creating, again, I say we to be modest, but the content I'm creating, I think it is worthwhile. I actually think if you're listening to this via podcast or watching on YouTube or whatever stream, if you're watching and or listening to this, I'm not wasting your time. And if I really thought I was wasting your time, I'd cease to do it. Right? The moment I look at this project and go, you know what? This is all BS. I'm wasting my time. Actually, that's when I know. That's when I'll know that it's time to put the kibosh on the project. When I feel as though I'm wasting my time, that's when, okay, I'm wasting my audience's time, which is very small at this point. But that will be a telltale sign that, it's time to quit stand-up. It's time to quit verbal graffiti. It's time to quit life. When I get to that point. But I'm not at that point yet, because I really, even though it is kind of wasting my time, I don't feel as though I'm wasting my time when I spend an entire weekend putting these episodes and editing videos and making reels and all that jazz. But yeah, I wanted to lay it out there. 200 episodes, nearly 2 years. I had a vision for this project. And the vision I had, it's kind of come to fruition. And the only thing that hasn't come with it is the viewership. And there's hardly any viewership. So, it's odd to say, like, if you are watching this episode, and thank you for watching, a tip of my penis to you for watching. Much respect. You're still one of the first. You're an OG. You're a real one. You're with me before I blew up. Like I often say, like, you're with me before Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. What I mean by that is, Neil Armstrong, he only became an interesting person once he landed on the moon. Like, that's when he became fuckable. That's when everyone wanted to interview him. That's when he became part of the culture, the American culture, that is. But before he landed on the moon, he was just a nerd astronaut with a funny helmet on his head. And that's where I'm at. I'm the nerd creating content that nobody's watching. But if people started watching, I'd be fuckable. People would want to interview me. I'd be interesting. People would be intrigued by me. So if you're watching now, know that you're with me when I'm a nerd, when I'm a geek, when I just have a weird hat on, and just speaking into the void. That is the internet, and empty comedy clubs and bars and restaurants. So that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. If you're watching and you subscribe and you're a fan, even though I'm 12 years in to trying to make a living being funny with my personality, me and Mr. Perfect, my penis. Yeah. Even though it's 12 years, decade plus, you're still, if you're with me, you're still early. All right, you're still with me before I got recognized. So that's cool. Like, I'm happy for you for being with me this early into the journey. When will the journey end? I don't know. I don't own a gun. So thankfully, hopefully not soon. Because if I had a gun, we're not going to go there. We're not going to, wow, that got dark. So let's move it the F along. And when I say F, I mean fuck. All right, this comes from, and if you are new, what I do is I just ramble in the beginning of an episode, and then I read two posts that I find on Reddit, and then I respond to the post on what the person who wrote the post, what he or she should do with their circumstance. So that's what we're going to do now. I pulled this from the subreddit college. I've been to a couple of colleges. A roommate lounges in the nude. My niece's 18-year-old female, beautiful, beautiful age. A roommate, 18, female, again, a beautiful, perfect age, keeps lounging around in their shared dorm room in full nude. My niece told her it makes her uncomfortable, and she stopped for a week. But she resumed. My niece got the RA involved. But this time, she hasn't stopped. Aside from the nudity, she stays on her phone as late as 3 to 4 in the morning during the week. She talks on the phone constantly on speakerphone very loudly. Again, my niece asked if she could limit it to at least normal waking hours. I believe that'd be 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. Nope, she won't stop. Any advice on what she should do next? Oh, and my niece has made sure to write down dates, times, and what each conversation entailed for future reference. Well, before we get to what your niece, who is 18, should do, let's play a little game called Guess the Race or the ethnicity of the naked roommate. Originally, when you said the roommate was prancing around the dorm room naked, I thought, well, that's a Europeaner. That's someone from overseas because they're more comfortable in the nude over there. So I was like, it's got to be someone from Europe, Austria, one of those countries, Germany. But then when you said that the naked roommate also talks on speakerphone till 3 or 4 in the morning, I instantly went, well, that's got to be a black lady. That's got to be an 18-year-old black student. But maybe it's a black European roommate. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments. You gotta love racism. We always sprinkle in just enough racism to make it fun here at Verbal Graffiti. Well, the only way to fight nudity is with nudity yourself. And your niece has to outflank the nudity of the nude roommate. So what she should do is she's got to be naked herself whenever she's in the dorm room. And if she's not an ugly, what I mean by that is if she's fuckable, your niece, that is, she needs to get a boyfriend and then bring the boyfriend to the dorm room every night and fuck while they're naked, and not under the covers either. They got to be above the covers, atop the desk. Have him hawk his dick loogie on the MacBook Pro, on the Chromebook. You gotta, and if she is an ugly, or even better yet, if your niece is a bit of a floozy. All right, if she likes to sleep around, which I'm guessing she doesn't because she's avoidant of the nude roommate. But hey, you got to fight nudity with nudity. So even better is to bring back a different guy each night and fuck him. Again, above the covers while you're naked. I had a roommate who did that in college. My freshman year, University of Hawaii, my roommate Bronson had a girlfriend who also went to the University of Hawaii. And they would fuck while I was in the room. And the way they would do it is our beds, we didn't have bunk beds. We were beds side by side. What they would do is they would get a chair that we had, like a desk and a chair, and they would put the chair between our two beds. And then they would put, again, this is Hawaii, they would put a boogie board on the chair. So that they would block, they would add as a barrier, almost a makeshift wall between me and my roommate and his girlfriend fucking. But again, I could hear them. I don't know if you noticed, but boogie boards are not soundproof. And they're not that wide either, so I would kind of peek. I would listen to them fuck. And he actually ended up getting his girlfriend pregnant that first semester at college. Wonder what happened to him. I have tried to look him up. Can't find him. Bronson, kind of a common name in the Hawaiian Islands. So I have not been able, and this was actually pre-Facebook, so I haven't been able to find him, keep tabs on him, so I don't know what's up with him. But yeah, so that I kind of have been in a situation similar to yourself. But again, you just got to bring back guys, the niece that is. And if your niece is ugly, and none of the guys on campus want to fuck her, just turn your dorm room into the party dorm. So if your bitch of a roommate is going to be talking on her speakerphone till 3 a.m, well, then what you got to do is bring 5 or 6 people to the dorm room every night to drink, to play games, to chat, whatever make your dorm room the hangout. And be loud. That way, the naked roommate, she can't talk on her phone anymore. So she's going to have to go to the common area or go somewhere in the hallway to speak on the speakerphone there. So you always have to smoke her out with your own nudity and your own noise, whether that's by fucking a boyfriend or a bunch of guys, or if you're unfuckable, just bring friends and drink and play video games or chat. You gotta be more annoying than the naked, talkative, speakerphone roommate. That is the key. That is really the only solution. Because there's really no way to get out of the dorm room unless there's physical violence. Right? You can go that route. Just keep getting in her face, be so annoying that the naked roommate slaps you. And once there's violence, then you're in an unsafe environment and the RA will have to put you in a different dormitory or give you a new roommate. But other than that, you're going to have to wait till next semester to get a new roommate. That's actually... All right, so I started off at the University of Hawaii, but my second year or my second semester, I transferred to UConn. So I had a roommate there, like a random roommate, and he was a white guy from Massachusetts, cool guy. I got along with him fine. He never went to class. I think it took him 6 years to graduate. The first semester, while I wasn't there, his roommate was a black guy, and how he got rid of him as a roommate, the black guy is, he just kept dropping the N-bomb. He said he N-bombed so many times in front of his black roommate that the black roommate left. I'm not sure if they left the university or he just found a new room, but he was extremely racist towards his black roommate, forcing the roommate to leave. It's a tactic, not a tactic I would take. But if you hate this roommate that much, maybe if she's black, just drop the N-bomb a lot. Or if she's Asian, drop an Asian slur. You have to be a more reprehensible person than your roommate is being to you. That's the only way you're going to get out of this living situation. But more likely than not, you're going to have to deal with this till next semester. And it is bullshit. Next semester till you get a new roommate. But it's kind of crazy that in the year 2020, or actually it's 2026 now, that there's still dorm rooms. You're living, most colleges now, how much is it for housing? Over $10,000 a year, maybe $20,000, $30,000 a year to pay for housing. And what does the university give you? They give you a dorm room that doesn't have a sink, that doesn't have its own bathroom. You have a community restroom. All you have in your room, most colleges that is, especially your freshman year, is you have 2 beds. It might be a bunk bed, 2 dressers, and two desks. And that's it. And you're paying $30,000 a year, and the roommate that you get is random, that you might get to choose the summer before, but you don't really know the roommate, and they're charging you $30,000 for housing, and you don't even have a sink. You don't even have your own toilet. Prisoners get more than you get in the dorm rooms. There's got to be a change to that. Right? If you're gonna give me, sorry, it's hard because you don't have any negotiating power. But if I was an incoming freshman and your parents or you were paying for housing, I mean, hey, can we at least get our own sink, our own toilet? No, you get nothing. That's so stupid, the whole dorm setup your freshman year of college. But hey, I know you're upset, but to be man, I would love to have a female roommate who's 18, who refuses to put her clothes on. That's really all we want here at Verbal Graffiti. Another person's garbage is another man's perverted dream. Let's go look at some photos. Episode 200, segment 2. Please like and subscribe. We would like to get to 100 subscribers on YouTube before we get to 300 episodes. I know that's quite a bit. That's quite a reach, but we're going to go for it. Do you have any resolutions for 2026? Let us know down in the comments. And like I said in episode 199, 2026 will not be your year. You will continue to be a failure. Your parents will continue to be disgusted with you. If you're in a relationship, your lover is probably going to kick you to the curb if they haven't already this year. So when you make those resolutions, don't reach for the sun, the moon, the stars. Keep it within an arm's reach. Me, the B-Man, I want to play more video games this year. As you know, I started playing Cyberpunk 2077 the last month. I'm terrible at it. There's so many buttons, and the games have really taken off the last 20 years. I know, I'm slow. 3 hours. I'm trying to beat this final boss. 3 hours into it, I can't do it. It might take me all of 2026 to beat this final boss character that's in one of the first rounds of the game. But hey, that's my resolution. I'd also I will also try to make more movies, short films. Each film I make, though, I'm trying to make more scenes and have each scene be more cinematic. So the movies are taking me a bit longer to put together. I have 2 I'm working on right now. So that's a goal of mine to try to make more movies and make the movies I do make more cinematic than the movies I've made so far. I don't really give a fuck about how many people watch them. I'm doing this for me. Each new movie I make, I want to raise the bar. Have each one be better than the previous one. I know that won't always be the case, but I'm going to fucking try. I'm also going to try to get my dick wet more than I did in 2025, which should not be. I only got my dick wet once in 2025, so 2. Trying to get my dick wet twice in 2026. We'll see how that goes. And also, now this last one, I don't think this will happen, but I do. It's been percolating in my mind and more potently, or more, it's in my soul. This thought, this want of mine has been percolating in my soul, much like before I began this project, Verbal Graffiti. But this one is different. Like I do want to, I don't know if manager is a correct term, but I do want to be the creative mind, the creative director behind an OF creator. What does that say? Like, I do want to be a pimp. Now, we've spoken about this. Like, I do want to be a pimp, but I don't have what it takes in me to backslap a bitch when she's out of pocket. Like, I don't have that. But I do feel though, OF creator, being her hype lady and giving her creative ideas. And again, I don't think any OF creator would bring me along to be her creative, the creative mind behind her, or to be her manager. Reason being, 200 episodes of Verbal Graffiti and only 60 subscribers. So I don't have numbers to back up what I want to do, but I really do believe if you give me a hot babe and she has halfway decent of a personality, somewhat sarcastic, some great jigglers on her, I honestly do believe she and I can go all the way to the top and we can make a lot of money together. And I want to film her. I want to do it all. I want to give her ideas. I want to film her fiddling herself. I want to be the guy on camera with her. That's right. If I got to be on camera with this OnlyFans creator to help pump her up even more, I'll do so. Because when I work with you, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make your OnlyFans dreams come true. And in return, my dreams will come true. But I just think that'd be fun. More so than being a pimp, like being in a tag team with an OF creator and being her mastermind, being the puppet master behind the camera, almost being her not liaison, but like being the political operative behind her politician, but behind her jigglers. I don't really know how to put this into words, but I do want to be the pimp of an OF creator. Now that all these other resolutions that I have in 2026 are self-induced. It's only me. If I'm able to stay healthy, my will, like I could get all those resolutions done. But being a pimp or the mastermind or the creative director of an OF creator, that involves another lady, another person. And that usually those types of thoughts that I have do not blossom. Because again, I don't know. You know, it's very easy to motivate myself, but to convince someone else to allow me to use my motivation to pump her up, I'm not very good at that. I am yet to be successful. But again, we're all going to be failures this year, but it doesn't mean we're not going to try. Like, that's being a failure. Not trying is not failing. Trying and not getting not accomplishing what it is you're going after, that makes you a failure. That's why this project, as of today, episode 200, segment 2, verbal graffiti, is a failure. But if you're a hot babe with jigglers and you're interested in starting an OF page or some type of smut work, the B-Man wants to be your creative director. All right, moving upwards, onwards. And this next one comes from, I know you guys think I'm kidding with that. I am not. I am not. I really do want to be the pimp for an OF creator. All right, this next one comes from the subreddit New Strippers. We love those. A bouncer just asked me if I do extras. Okay. Avi, which is short for obviously, get this from customers all the time. But today I had a bouncer come upstairs, find me, approach me, pull me somewhere private and tell me he had a customer at the door that wanted a new girl, but wanted to know if I do extras. I was like, bro, what? Tell him to pay for admission, come upstairs, buy a dance with me so I can tell him to the face I don't sell pussy. Like, is that weird? It feels weird, cry emoji. Sharing here because I don't know who else to tell, LOL, that's laugh out loud. Has this happened to anyone else? No, it has not happened to the B-Man or anyone I know. No one's asked me if I do extras. But again, I'm not a new stripper. I don't like you, and I don't like your kind. I don't like strippers who have morals, who have a red line they won't cross, is not a stripper I want motorboating me in the back room. I don't like you. I don't like your mindset. I don't like your whole mindset I don't like. So here you are, you're a new stripper, right? You're gyrating on stage, you're twirling around the pole, you're tits and ass everywhere, you're the music playing, the bills down the G-string, you're about that life. But then as soon as a guy, one of us Johns, comes up to you and goes, hey, do you sell your sniz on the side, behind the club? And you go, absolutely not. Like, I'm a stripper, but I ain't a slut. Like, you're going to come at us, the Johns, the customers, the patrons, the lonely men in the trench coats, and you're going to blame us for asking you or just having a thought that, hey, this babe is on stage, tits and ass out. She's wearing a G-string. Maybe she'll sell her sniz to me for a fair price. Like, that's not, like, don't judge us for thinking you might sell your sniz. I mean, you're a stripper. That's part of the stripped act. Now, obviously not you, because you think you're better than the strippers who sell their sniz for a fee. Well, I'm here to tell you, you're not. Right? You're worse than the strippers. You're a tease. Nobody likes a tease. So you shouldn't even work at this club. Honestly, if I was the owner of a strip club, which I don't want to be. Now, we mentioned before, I do want to manage an OF creator, a babe with jigglers who has an OnlyFans account, but I don't want to own a whole strip club. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not a business guy. But if I owned a strip club, all my strippers would be selling their sniz. All my strippers would be doing extras. In my club, there's a don't ask, don't tell management policy. All right? All the ladies at my club are going to sell their sniz for a price. And it's going to be a high price. Because I only hire high quality sniz to work, to dance, to prance around, to do lap dances at my club, to do extras. And you better charge a lot for that sniz or that BJ with a condom on. $300 minimum for a blowjob with a condom on. If you're going to give it a sniz, it better be $500. Because you best believe I'm taking a percentage of how much you're charging. So I don't want you charging $75 for a hand jibber, beside your other stripper who's doing a lap dance. Like, no. You go to a room, you do the full deed for the full price, because this is a business. My strip club is a business. And I don't want any strippers who are thinking they're better than strippers who are about that lifestyle. And I want my strippers to be about that lifestyle. I want my strippers about doing those extras, because I want a piece of that action. Not the action, but like the money that comes with the action. I think I just made my peace with that. But again, I do not blame the Johns for questioning whether or not you're willing to sell your sniz. Because, honey, darling, you got enough glitter between your chest, between your jigglers, that they could see it from the space station up there in space. So it's not a guy's fault, a John's fault, that he thinks, hey, here's a couple Benjamins. Can I get some extra? Yeah. He's not in the wrong for thinking you might sell your sniz. Now, as for the bouncer, methinks, the B-man that is, that there's no customer at the door. Methinks that the bouncer knows that you're a new stripper at this joint, so he wants to get your sniz before your sniz becomes tainted, if it's not already. Because let's be honest, you're a stripper. I've seen your medical records. You've already had chlamydia 3 times this year. So let's not act like you're working at a monastery. This is a strip club. And that's what all us Johns dream of, is getting the new stripper, the new hooker, the new high-end escort, the new OF model. We want to get her on her first shift before all the other Johns have their way with her sniz. When you're new, you're fresh, you still got that Apple. When you buy an Apple iPhone and you peel, or a MacBook, and you peel it off, that you still have the peel on you as a new stripper, and that's the best. That's the dream. We want to get your sniz when you still have that Apple iPhone peel. Like, we want to be the one to peel it off, to break that hymen. So the bouncer knows that you're new. That he's trying to get in before anyone else gets in. And when I say get in, I mean get in your sniz. But it's either that, or B, the bouncer, he wants to know if you're down for extras. Not that he really gives a fuck. He's trying to get in your sniz first, or B, like, he wants to be your bodyguard while you're doing the extras. So he's trying to get a bit of a cut himself. He's like, hey, he's just feeling it out. He's like, hey, you're new here. Do you do extras? And if you do, I'll be your bodyguard while that's going down. Make sure nothing gets out of hand for a price, for a percentage. So everyone's getting a cut. Everyone's trying to get a cut in that strip club. And that's the type of strip club I like to work at, to own. But you're not going to work at my strip club because you don't sell extras. And who wants to be at a strip club where extras are not on the menu? Not the B-man. That's not a strip club I'll be attending and or owning. Go suck a fat one.